you ever heard anyone say that Abraham was Jewish? I've heard it all the time. It's really anachronistic, though, to suggest that Abraham was Jewish. He is, yes, the father of the Jewish race, but he himself was not Jewish. Hi, my name is Doug Hamp. Welcome to another Bible Buzz. We're going to take a look at the question, was Abraham Jewish? What was he if he wasn't Jewish? The short answer is no, he wasn't Jewish. To suggest that Abraham was Jewish is to suggest that Pocahontas was an American. Sure, she was born in this land, but she was not nationally an American. All right? She was, of course, something other. And Abraham was not Jewish. Does he relate to the Jewish people? Of course he does. He is the father of Isaac, who is the father of Jacob, and Jacob had 12 sons. One of those sons' name was Judah, and Judah is where we get the word Jew from. You might say, now wait a second, I don't get that, because in English it's Jew. How do you get Judah out of Jew? Well, if you speak other languages, you know that the word Jew is very much related, completely related to the word Judah. If you go to German, it's Juden. In Spanish, it's Judío. In French, it's Juif, so it's already been shortened as well. If you go back, of course, to Hebrew, it's Yehudi, all right, someone who is from the tribe of Judah. Now, we have to understand that when God took the nation of Israel out of Egypt, he took them to Sinai. There we had the 12 tribes. Again, only one of those tribes were actually Jewish. The other 11 tribes were not Jewish, right? If you were from the tribe of Benjamin, you were not Jewish. You were a Benjamite. If you were from the tribe of Asher, you're an Asherite or a Danite or a Gadite. You're not a Judite. That's what we have to understand. But something happened in around the year 922 BC. We have the united monarchy under King David and then, of course, King Solomon. And because of Solomon's wickedness, God said he was going to take the kingdom away from him and give it to his servant Jeroboam, which of course happened. And the 10 tribes that went with Jeroboam became known as the house of Israel. God said because David was somebody he liked, he would keep 2 tribes for the southern kingdom of Judah, and they became known as the house of Judah. So from about 922 BC till 722 BC, we have 2 houses coexisting, the house of Judah in the south and the house of Israel in the north. And it's really in 922 when we can really say that we have the birth of the Jews, of the house of Judah. But they're not going to really experience their cultural distinction until after their return from the Babylonian captivity. When they return, they're led by, of course, Nehemiah, who is their political leader, and then Ezra, who is their religious leader. And that's when we have, really you could say, the birth of the Jewish rabbinic movement. And of course, by the time we get to Jesus, things are in full swing. And the rabbis are really the go-to people for religious matters. And so to say that all of that the Jews, that Abraham was Jewish is not really correct. It's partly correct because, yes, Abraham is related to Judah, but it's not correct to say that he himself was a Jew, right? Abraham was a Hebrew. Abraham came out of Ur of the Chaldees. God called him out of there to go to a land that he would show him. And of course, he then gave that land to Isaac. Isaac then passed it to Jacob, and then Jacob gave it to his 12 sons, among whom one of them, his name was Judah. And of course, King David came out of the tribe of Judah. He then became king over all of Israel, and as I said, the kingdom split in about 922 BC, and that's when we really have the beginning of the house of Judah, or the Jews. So I hope this helps you to understand that no, Abraham was not Jewish. He was a Hebrew. And the Jewish people, that as we understand them, come about at a later time. And we cannot say that that God gave the law to the Jews back at Sinai. That is incorrect as well. Only one of those 12 tribes were Jewish, and that was the tribe of Judah. He gave it to Israel. That's very important. Well, why make such a big deal of this? I mean, what difference does it make anyway? Because we need to understand that there were two houses that were spoken of again and again and again in the scriptures. Again, from the time of after the death of Solomon with his son Rehoboam, and then Jeroboam in the north, we then have the two houses, and they will coexist until about 722, when God brings in the Assyrians to deal with the rebellious northern kingdom of Israel. Sometimes that northern kingdom is referred to as Ephraim, because Jeroboam was from the tribe of Ephraim, or Ephraim and Manasseh were the two sons of Joseph. And so you can see these different usages, these different titles given to that northern kingdom throughout Scripture. You'll see that especially in Jeremiah, in Ezekiel, and others, but those are really the two biggies. Think of Ezekiel 37, where it talks about the two sticks, the two houses, coming back together to be one. So this is why it really does make a difference, and we don't want to say that Abraham was Jewish, because we're really mudding the waters if we do that. We're confusing things. We want to keep a strict definition so that as we go through Scripture, it'll help us see things a lot better. Thanks for joining me in this Bible Buzz. Until next time, stay in the Word.